You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 14th meeting of the Michiana Shores Town Council. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I'm going to ask everyone to stand. We'll begin the meeting. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. Joan, could you please proceed with the roll call?
President Diana Humphries.
Present.
Vice President Samantha Arnold.
Present.
Ralph Fox.
Present.
Sam Paxton.
Present.
Rich Young.
I'm here.
Okay, I'm here too. Attorney Brad Dansky.
Present.
Fire Chief Gary Bendix.
Present.
Police Chief Mark Wistick.
Present.
Park Board President Jean Paxton.
She said she wasn't sure if she could make it, and she gave me a report online.
Okay,
Okay.
put her absent for now.
Okay.
BCA President, I got the wrong name on here again. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I'm thinking of something else. But he's absent, Matt Bowen. Floodplain Administrator Ray Dunleary is absent. Planning Commission President Isaac Beckel.
Present.
Website and Technology Samantha Arnold. And Road Commissioner Bob Sokowski.
Last but not least, present.
All right, thank you very much, Joan. Regarding the agenda, I would like to hear comments from the council if there was anything else that needed to be added. We are adding under a resolution, I'll just begin that part. Resolutions and ordinances, A, vacant lots, ordinance 2024-03. Okay, so 6A, vacant lots, ordinance 2024-03. Are there any other additions or corrections to the agenda?
I don't have any.
Nothing? Okay, I will then add at the bottom of our agenda, it lists the various dates that are coming up. The next BZA meeting, I believe, is supposed to be in July unless something changes and they change the date. No date was actually given to me, but just told in July. And then at the bottom, we have the coffee that will start our summer, and that's going to be June 1st. What was the time, Samantha?
8:30 a.m. to 10:30.
All right, 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. So you could please add that to your agendas if you have one. Okay, so anything else? All right, then I need a motion to approve.
I move to approve the agenda as modified.
Okay, Sam Paxton.
Second.
Okay. All right, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. The agenda has been approved with the 2 additions to the items listed. Okay. All right, minutes. We have minutes approval of the minutes from the April 9th meeting, and I believe Joan has provided us with several other sets of minutes. Okay, those being for the executive meeting memorandum March 24th.
Correct.
Then the April 9th meeting, and so, I'm sorry?
And the March 12th.
And the March 12th. Okay, minutes, that's right. Okay, so we will now, we now need to add those and amend our agenda. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to add to the agenda the minutes of the March 12th meeting and the memorandum from the March 24th executive session. Okay, so I need again do an approval from the council.
To add them to the,
Yes, to add them to the agenda.
a motion to add these additional minutes to the agenda.
Okay, Samantha has moved to add these to the agenda. Second?
Second.
Any second? Okay, Ralph Fox. Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, 5 ayes. They have been approved for review. Okay. Okay, on the executive session, are there any comments or corrections?
Yes, on the March 24th, which is the first page, it says an executive at the top. It does say executive meeting memorandum March 24th. Below that, it says an executive session was held on March blank, so he put the date into
There we
there.
go. I missed that, okay. All right, thank you.
You mean the 24th is missing?
Yes, March 24 on the first line.
Yeah, I copied that from your agenda, your post that we put out on the
Okay.
board.
Okay.
You didn't have it on that either, and I missed it.
Okay. Anything else? If there's nothing else on that memorandum, then I will ask for motion to approve.
A motion to approve the memorandum from the March 24th
Okay,
executive session.
okay, with the addition of the date of the 24th.
Yes.
Okay, Samantha Ann, okay, who seconded? Sam Paxton? Thank you, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, 5 ayes, have been approved. Okay, 24th. All right, now we move on to the minutes of the, oops, thank you. The minutes of the March 12th meeting. There were several, corrections that have been made to that. Does anyone have any more questions or comments on the minutes from the 24th? I mean, the minutes from March 12th, sorry.
There it is. No,
All the changes that was given to me at the meeting.
Okay.
The only thing that might not be, Sam, Samantha, you said you were gonna write something up on your part, but I never received it, so I just went ahead.
you mean for the website?
Yeah, for the website, so I just,
Oh, I think I sent it to you, but I can send it to you again. I can submit separately.
Thank you.
I'm fine with it. I motion to approve the minutes from the meeting of March 12th.
Okay. All right, Samantha has moved to approve. I need a second.
Second.
Okay, Rich Young seconds. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
5, okay. These minutes from March 12th have been approved. Thank you. All right. Okay, let's move on to the minutes of the April 9th meeting. Any questions or comments on these minutes from the council?
None, I have no questions.
All right, then I will need a motion to approve. Anybody else? Sam, Rich, do you have any questions? Sorry. No? Okay. All right, so Ralph Box moved to approve.
Yes.
All right, I need a second.
I second.
All right, Samantha Arnold seconds. All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, 5 ayes. The minutes of the April 9th, what is this, April 9th meeting have been approved. Okay, thank you. All right, we are going to move on to, oops.
vouchers.
Yes, to the vouchers. I'm just looking at this copy that I had here. Okay, all right. We are going to move on to the vouchers. Joan presented these to us via email, and then, okay, that's something else. Okay,
Rich got copied.
yes, okay. All right.
As you noticed, I summarized them like you requested.
Yes, thank you.
Let's start with the March 31st payroll taxes. Total amount on payroll taxes. That included both the quarterly pay and also the hourly pay or monthly pay. And the grand total on that was $2,797.41. That includes what's been withheld from the payroll and also the employer portion of the FICA and Medicare.
Okay, are there any questions or comments from council? No, in that case, then we need to, a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Okay, Sam Paxton. I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Rob Box, seconds. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it, the motion has been approved. Okay, thank you. All right, John?
Then we have the April additional vouchers. That came to a total of $14,760.80. I can roughly run down the ones that are in here. The telephone, $89.90, Port County video taping, $500. Brad Adamski for legal, $1,624.52. Friedman and Associates for legal, $6,477.50. Jim McKay for our computer technician was $572.75. Port County Treasurer for White Ditch with our taxes, $494.98. Maple City Tree, $4,800 for Leeds Park. And NIPSCO for the garage and the street light, and $157.15.
All right, thank you, John. Were there any questions? No. Comments?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Rich.
So the white ditch, is that for the lots that we have in mind?
Each lot is assessed a certain amount for the, if they have to do dredging. When we did the banks, we sloped the banks, but we did not do anything as far as if the white.
Only the houses along the creek, or all houses?
You do too, you pay it too. Everybody
It's
in town
included.
pays it, whether you're on the creek or not.
That goes back to when the county wanted us to take over, didn't they?
When they wanted us to take over, it was to take care of the banks, not the ditch itself, not the waterway.
Okay, any other questions?
Joe, it looks like you had another printer installed. Did you have problems with, didn't you have a new printer last year?
I had a printer installed and I did have some problems with it, and he came back and worked on it, and then we worked on some other problems that,
So you didn't have to replace it?
no, the printer was replaced back in, was it December,
Okay.
somewhere like that.
Okay.
I didn't get the bigger one as they had before because I didn't think we used the legal part of it, the legal printing. We can still print legal, but not automatic.
Okay.
Okay, next, Joan.
I need some.
Oh, no, we didn't approve these yet. Okay, motion to approve. Okay, Rich Young, I need a second.
A second?
Okay, Samantha Arnold, the second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, 5 ayes. And the motion has been approved. Pay these vouchers, okay?
Okay, and then we have May 14th vouchers, which summarize them again, just like I did the ones that just gave you for the addition. And this one is for AT&T, it's for telephone. We have AT&T for the regular phone, and we also have it for cell phone. And it's $89.90. Access support. Yeah. $500 videotaping for different quarters. This one is for the second quarter, the one in the first quarter. Brad Adamski, $1,624.
We just did this, Joan. We just did this and approved it.
Was this for April? April.
Yeah, April additional vouchers. Okay, we just,
You know what I did?
and we didn't do the May 14th, 2024 vouchers. Pardon? Is that the wrong one that went by?
I
I don't have,
wait a minute.
the only one that I have is the one you heard first.
Okay, the others were all in the packet that was sent out, one after another, in the email packet that was sent out. Okay, they were all in a row, one, yeah,
Yeah, there's no in a row, and it should have
yeah.
This is why we're
been. Wait a minute.
Okay, we need the APV register batch, May 14th, 2024.
There it is.
That's the one you're looking at now, I think. Yes, it starts with Department of Water. Yeah, that's the one.
Water,
Yes.
$90.36. Michiana Shore Volunteer Fire Department for rental, $105. Brenda Hickman for transportation to and from the bank and post office, $36.16. Comcast, $174.30. Department of Waterworks, they send us two bills. One's for the garage and one's for the water department, $9.36. LaPorte County for doing our building inspections, $400. Michiana Shores Volunteer Fire Department, $3,835.17. They're underneath the new LIT public service for part of the expenses that we pay to them. Mick Wolf, $405 for mowing parks. Pioneer Lumber, $193.20 for bitumen materials. Hopefully to repair our path codes. Republic Services, $4,892.88 in town of Long Beach. Police Protection, $5,691 for a grand total of $15,751.45.
Okay, do we have questions? Comments, concerns? On these vouchers?
No.
Okay. You okay, Rich, over there? Any questions? No? No? Okay. Then I need a motion to approve.
I motion that we approve these vouchers
Okay,
for
Samantha Arnold.
May 14th.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Fox seconds. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, 5, and these vouchers have been approved for payment. Okay, thank you. All right.
Okay, you got that, and
Okay.
I'm still waiting for the file cabinet to be returned from Deb Chubb and also her exit interview form that I.
Yes, I have asked and requested that, and I asked for a date for us to be able to get in. Weekends are good, however, we need to get someone to help us, so,
If you need someone to help you, my nephew is usually out here on a Saturday.
okay, then we will check that out with him, and when they are home to be able to pull it out, so that's all.
But he doesn't come out till 10 or after because of
Okay, all right,
parameters and doing outside work.
yes, okay. There we go. Pass these along to you. All right, thank you very much, Joan, and I see we have the outstanding citations listed for us. Everybody has a copy of this? It's the same page. The other one just has the same.
Everybody, I just set it out tonight.
Yes, okay.
just general citations.
Those are the general citations according to the town code. That code was put in from that ordinance or resolution was put in without any consulting with the clerk treasurer. At the time that was put in or before, Deb Chubb and Dinah were handling that. And then all of a sudden it was dumped on us, so I just stayed away from it.
The source of your information is from what?
Citations. I don't take
You
from
have
anything
copies
else.
of what the code enforcement officer fined people? You have?
That's the only way I would have.
No, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
understand. So are you confident
I
that
have-
all of these figures are correct?
The write-off the citations.
Okay, because I thought
And
the second
Deb has not-
person on the list had a mess, like 12,500.
Okay, well, we'll have to look into that. Okay, so that's a good question.
Some of those are in court, I don't have those.
Oh, okay.
Those I don't have, and I won't have them. That was for some that Deb was doing. That's where the confusion.
All right, okay, then that's another question for Deb, okay. All right,
And it would be nice if the new code enforcement officer takes those over.
okay, and when we have a code enforcement officer, that will definitely be good. But we'll discuss that at the time. All right, so we need citations, right? No, that we will, something to consider. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, thank you, Joan. On this, any more questions on these? Council? None? Okay. I made a note here on ours about the citations regarding the second individual up there, so, okay? And added it to the other notes. All right, so, okay, and then we have over here, I think, oh, that's gonna be for later on for the tree, right?
Yes.
Yeah, there's one for the tree.
Okay, oh, all right. There's no name here on this.
Where's what?
I said, there's no name for who's providing the service.
Sandcastle, that's what I thought.
This. Who is that from?
Those are from Mick Wolf.
Oh, okay, fine, then let me just, I didn't know what it was. Okay, there's no name.
Yeah, he didn't put a name on it.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, I'll just put that in for when we discuss that. Thank you. All right, let us move on to resolutions and ordinances. The vacant lots ordinance 2024-03. Ralph?
So the Plan Commission has discussed for the last several months the need to strengthen what we allow people, well, actually, we don't allow people to build anything on a vacant lot. And we weren't clear enough in our current code. So we wanted to make adjustments to the code to tighten that up. So what you have in front of you, most of you have electronic copy. I have physical copies for John.
Watch this.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. I didn't grab it.
So I'm gonna read this, but I want to propose that we do a single reading. That
Yes.
we have a first reading and then
We vote to,
vote to approve it based on that.
okay. All right.
It's my understanding, though, to do something like that, we need an unanimous vote to proceed at that point. But at minimum, we need to read through this and discuss it.
Okay. All right.
So ordinance 2403, an ordinance amending the zoning ordinance to provide for clarification of the definition of vacant lots as it relates to construction on vacant lots for the town of Michiana Shores, Indiana. The town code of the town of Michiana Shores, Article 5, minimum construction standards, Chapter 13, cutting of trees, Section 3-1-13-2, definitions, shall be amended as follows. Section 3-1-13-2 definitions. Vacant lots is defined not to include lots of record adjoining and adjacent to the lots containing the residence of the common owner. The town council of the town of Michiana Shores shall be amended, the town code of the town of Michiana Shores shall be amended to add the following to Title II, zoning ordinance of Michiana Shores, Indiana, Article 2, development through zoning, Chapter 3, residential district zoning regulations, Section 3, permitted accessory uses by adding M, sections on vacant lots. Structures on vacant lots. No structures are allowed or can be permitted on vacant lots. This includes, but is not limited to, garages, sheds, carports, gazebos, swimming pools, decks, stairs, fences, or any type of structure. Now therefore, it is hereby ordained and enacted by the town council of the town of Michiana Shores, LaPorte County, repeal provision, all prior ordinances or resolutions or parts thereof inconsistent with any of the provisions of this ordinance are hereby repealed. The severability clause, if any section, clause, provision, or portion of this resolution is deemed to be invalid or unconstitutional by a court of competent jurisdiction, such provision shall not affect any other section, clause, provision, or portion of this ordinance. Passed and adopted by the town council of the town of Michiana Shores, County of LaPorte, Indiana, this 14th day of May 2020.
Okay. Council members? Any comments, concerns?
Questions for me?
Okay, good. Then in that case, guide us through this, Brad. What should we?
Do a motion to approve on first reading, if that's the intention of the board, but then again, that would have to be by unanimous vote.
Okay. I need a motion.
So I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-03 on first reading.
I second that motion.
Okay. Rob Box has made a motion to approve ordinance 2024-03 on first reading. Samantha Arnold has seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. All right, 5 ayes, and this motion has been passed.
On first reading.
Okay, on first reading. Thank you. All
So,
right.
Joan, I have a second copy here if you want to pass these around for us all to sign now. You can do that.
Okay.
And I will send you the final copy.
Okay, I'm going to use 2 copies that we have here, okay, John?
Okay. If this on the first reading, where are you signing it on first reading? I thought we signed on second reading.
They waived the rules.
We waived the rule.
Oh,
Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, Samantha? I'm passing this along. Just pen if you need. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, great, Ralph, thanks for working on that. Okay. All right, while they're signing those, we're going to move on to number 7, short-term rental application for 210 Sunset by Rebecca Trumper and David or Daniel? Daniel Seltzer, okay. I forgot, I just put his initials here on my agenda, okay. Thank you very much. So, council members, have you had any opportunity to review, the documents that had been presented with regards to this, application? Or any comments, concerns, questions?
I do have one question. It was not clear in the notes that I found. Part of the requirement for the special use is to have someone local within like 30 minutes to be responsible and if there's anything. And it kind of said yes, but I wasn't clear. Could I get clarity on that, where that person is in relationship to you, how far they are, just that kind of stuff?
So we do have that. First of all, I'm Todd Lee. I'm attorney for Rebecca and Dan. So, and I helped her at the BCA and so forth. There is a named responsible person. They are within the area. I think they're in Dallas.
Yeah. Is it a friend, family member? What's the?
Friend.
Okay. Thanks.
Right, so that would be on, what is this? Oh, Leah Rowe on page 2, correct?
Yes.
All right, it showed the application. Okay, the application was that very long document that you got much earlier.
Yep, I have all that. I saw
Okay.
them mentioned, I didn't see where they were, so I was
Okay, so that's on the second page of the application.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, any comments, concerns from anybody on the council? And then we're going to open up for comments. Pardon?
Is this our opportunity?
Yes, this is our opportunity to speak about this, yes. We're discussing this.
For reviewing this, it looked like you were, the BZA meeting was well attended, and there was a lot of public comment made, and people voiced their opinion about objecting to it. The BZA granted this with the caveat that you would only allow friends and family to rent or otherwise use the home. I want to, I think that's a satisfactory solution to overcome the neighbors. And I think the town, and some of the comments that were written by some of your neighbors echo a lot of what town, regular town people are, the non-short-term renters, feel is that you want to have people enjoy their property and freedom to do as they want to, allow other people to use and rent the property. In a perfect world, everyone would be paid, right? So I can assure you that your neighbors are going to be on the phone with Chief Swistic. So I hope the message is well documented and made clear to people using your home.
We did sign a covenant to that effect, if you will, friends and family plan.
Yes.
Covenant not to do the Airbnb, VRBO. I think we have more control over friends and family versus anyone who signs up on a platform. So we echo and are concerned with that. And Rebecca has made that clear, she's comfortable with that condition.
Sam, can you clarify, was that then, or maybe you can answer this, was that a contingency of the BZA granting variance?
I believe it was. We signed a commitment with the town council through the treasurer's office.
Okay, there was a revised, the first one that was signed and was notarized is the one that did not include the actual comment, but there is among the documents here where it says when it was granted, there are conditions listed on this, okay, that state, petitioner testified that the property will only be rented to friends and family and will not be advertised on any short-term rental services such as Airbnb, VRBO, or similar platforms. This grant of special use is conditioned on and restricted to short-term rentals to friends and family of the petitioner and specifically prohibits advertising or soliciting of tenants.
And it's signed.
Pardon?
That's signed.
And it is, yeah, those documents are signed by, this document here, I have a copy, this is the original here. It was signed by the BZA, and all of these will go into the file, you know, here in town. And then I understood that because this is already presented, the petitioners, even though it wasn't included in that scanned document, here it is, you know, that particular paragraph was not included in here, the assumption is that it is, because at the time, I guess they had not, the BZA had not stuck in that little section, okay? And they added it later on. So, but I understand that because the board approved and they are accepting what the board has said, it should be okay, right?
Correct. The BZA has the authority to grant, deny, or grant those conditions, and that's what they did. They granted them.
Okay.
I was asking that from legal to see if there's anything additional this board would have to do should they grant the permit.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, if you're just granting the permit subject to the BZA application, then there's nothing.
Okay. All right.
We want to be clear that the restriction is for short-term rental platforms like Airbnb and VRBO.
And similar, it says. And similar.
And similar. Facebook, her personal Facebook, where she has friends that see that, we just want to be clear that we can make that known on that platform. But that's certainly not Airbnb or VRBO.
Okay, well, let me ask this question, then, excuse me, you know, because Facebook goes all over the place and friends of friends see everything on Facebook, was this issue raised at the actual BZA meeting?
It was not, but the words that you said was we couldn't solicit, and I guess I want to be clear that the BZA is, my recollection, only prohibited the words in my petition, and that was Airbnb, VRBO, or other similar platforms. Okay. And I would say those are short-term rental platforms of internet based. I don't think that Facebook is that animal.
Are we talking Facebook on your personal page or Facebook Marketplace?
Yeah.
My page.
Your page, so to your friends, and again, it's probably the two things. One is not on those, not solicitation of tenants on those platforms, and that the idea is it's friends and family, so, gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear.
Yes, yeah, of course we do. We want to be clear too. Okay, Rebecca?
Just one more question, just so it's all really transparent, which has been my my, motivation and desire through this process from the beginning. So I said this in the BZA too. So right now, my dear friend Leah, who loves the beachfront communities, has agreed to be the point of contact, and, she's within the mile radius and all of that. If in the future, we would want to have someone more local, and like a property management company, come and kind of be the office of record. If people would call them to rent the place, are we still within the bounds of this if they're not advertising it on VRBO, Airbnb? Because
They would call them because you gave them their number? How would they know to call them? That's probably the question.
Well, they
Because
call,
if it's a local property management company, they just have regular people who are like, hey, we're here to rent again this summer, what do you have?
and unfortunately, I mean, this board isn't necessarily the right board to answer that question. The condition was put on by the BZA.
And
Okay.
my recollection at the BZA was the wording around, they didn't want it to go, and what we offered was that it wouldn't go on the big platform. Like,
Okay.
I'm not looking to run an Airbnb business out of my beloved cabin.
Okay.
I want to have some degree of connection with
Okay.
renting and more screening.
Okay, was this question about potentially changing to a company that rents or handles rentals and manages them, was that question ever raised to the BZA?
They didn't ask me, I raised it and said, in the future, like if the
Okay.
point of contact would become too much for my friend, or they moved, or they didn't want to do it anymore, then
Okay.
the next solution would be a management company. So it was spoken out at the meeting, not because they prompted it, but because I.
But that could be, from the perspective that a property management company does things like manage your friends and family and the cleaning and all that sort of thing, not doing what you're proposing, maybe doing in the future, where they would manage the rentals that are outside of the friends and family network. So again, I go to what our attorney said, is if you're going to change how you do it, you probably are going to need to approach the BZA.
So I know that what we offered at the BZA was that we would not put it on a big rental platform like Airbnb, VRBO, and similar. And I know in the original document that we signed, that the agreements, I'm the one who pointed out that it didn't have the stipulation in it. And so I questioned whether we should be signing that one or a different one. And it has taken several months, as Dinah knows, to get to this point.
Yeah.
And, I had hoped to see the document and the wording to make sure we were all in agreement with it from the way the BZA translated it. And now it's coming up in this meeting that it's not what I recollect.
Okay.
I don't think that's what Todd recollects. And
Okay.
now,
All right, they gave, go ahead.
BZA comment when you brought the idea that you might transfer to a professional management company? Did they have any response?
I think it was simply like it wouldn't be a problem, that that would.
All right, and no.
I don't recall any issue.
Yeah.
It was the VRBO Airbnb that was.
Yes,
that was
okay.
key.
Did the issue, or did the potential question of the management company actually handling all kinds of, or offering it for vacation? Because it's like, isn't Vacasa like a rental, management thing as well? And they advertise, so that becomes an advertisement. So, I don't know that. Okay, let's leave it like this here. This is, currently you have someone who is local. After a 1-year period, this is just my thought, I'm speaking here, that in a year, you have from the date that you are issued, if you are issued the permit, in a year from then, actually 3 months before it ends, you should begin a renewal process. So, at that point, you would have to change this in. So now, when we give the permit, I don't know what we can do. Brad, you might say, do we say then that if you change this, your contact person, I don't know how to handle that part about the management company. I am not sure that they even realize that people advertise. So that's why I'm asking about the clarity, just as we took care of the ordinance here, making sure that the definition was correct. You know, in this case, is it going to open up for a much wider number of people, and did they actually understand that? Because making an assumption that they know is just an assumption. So,
I would only point out that the
I'm sorry, Greg.
last part of the statement here says, and specifically prohibits advertising
Or soliciting, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Never agreed to that.
So that's in the language that we're seeing here. So that to me says you can't engage with even with a third party, and I'm not an attorney, but it should catch like a third party that you contract with to manage the in and out of guests and cleaning and everything else that goes into management.
I'm Sam, you're right.
But still prohibits them from advertising or soliciting.
Yeah.
Where is that language?
That language is here on the Michiana Shores Board of Zoning Appeals, case number 0, I'll be happy to pass this over. 033, these are the decisions and the signatures of the BZA as they are granting. So I'm happy, if you would like to see, you can take a look at this. This is the original, so I will not give that to you. But you may look at it. Pardon?
Those are the conditions they put on there.
Yeah, these are the conditions, so you may look at this. I don't know if anybody else has a copy, they may
I'll
keep.
take a scan or a picture.
Okay, great,
if you
okay,
don't mind.
yes, no problem. Okay, so that language actually does say prohibits any kind of advertising and soliciting.
Well, I don't think that's an accurate representation of what happened, but of course, it's the memorialization of that hearing. I get
Yes.
that. But our offer in my petition, and I think you actually read that language, that Airbnb, VRBO,
Yes, I did.
or other similar platforms.
Okay.
And that's what we offered, that's what we
Okay.
presented to the board.
Okay, but that is on the document that is signed by all of the BZA members.
I understand.
So that would,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Brad?
I'm just going to address other 2 points. One, I would agree with the point that any discussion about what was intended or what was stated, that's up to the BZA. They gave their conditions. What this board is doing is then saying, okay, pass beyond that step. Now, do you grant the permit or do you not grant the permit?
Yeah.
Second, as far as what you're talking about right now, it's speculative. So I mean, I don't think you guys should be hanging your hats or denial or granting one way or the other based on what may happen in the future. So right now, we know the conditions. We know what the board of zoning appeals is granted. If that language is not subject to your agreement or to your approval, and your attorney invites you through that, there are appeal procedures from a BZA decision. That's what we're doing for that. Right? So the issue is very simple.
Okay.
Grant permit, deny permit, based on the BZA sending it to you on those conditions.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Okay. Any more council comments?
Yeah, this is a technical issue. We have a list of things that you have to accomplish during the inspection. And one of those is to have working smoke and carbon monoxide sensors. And in your inspection report, it specifically states they do not test that. So how do we get to the point where they're tested? There's photographs of some, but that doesn't mean anything. So we need some verification that the smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms in the home are functional.
Okay. Is that something that we can approve conditionally upon receiving?
I would accept that, but we
Okay.
still would need
Yeah, we need
a plan to get.
Right, okay. Okay, that's not, and it's not unusual, it's something we ask of everybody, you know, so for that, okay? If the count, that's a great point, so I'm glad you brought that up, Ralph, thank you. Are there any comments from, anyone else attending the meeting today with regards to this particular STR application? Okay? And we don't see anybody up here asking, right? On the screen? Okay.
Someone waiting to be admitted.
Oh, there is? Who's waiting? Okay, Jean, she's our board president. Okay. All right, so council, your thoughts then?
I'll make a motion to proceed with a vote on the approval of a permit for 210 Sunset,
Okay, with the condition.
with the condition that they come back with verification that the smoke alarm
All right, Ron.
and set alarm properly.
All right, Ralph Box moves to approve with the, it's a conditional approval then, with a signed, I guess, as well, you know, because we'd like to see a signature, you'd like your signature on, and we're providing how those things are going to be inspected, like right now, you know, before anything does, okay, to make sure that they're done, okay? I need a second, Sam Paxton. Regarding smoke detectors and seal. Okay, Sam Paxton has seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, Ralph, Rich, what do you think?
No, I'm very leery about the problem we've got here with the misunderstanding the language or the complication language about the policeman. You got 3 eyes, right? On just that.
Okay, all right. Okay, so we have, okay, let's see, Sam Paxton, Diana Dumbrus, okay, and 1 abstained, Rich Young abstains. Okay, so now, we have passed this and we said it is an approval with the condition that you provide us within the next week, 10 days, pardon? Before you rent anything. Okay, we have to receive that assigned document, so whether it's, you know, whoever it is who's, you know, handling it for you, your attorney or whatever, but make sure they're inspected, and we have a letter that shows that they are, okay?
So does it need to be like a building inspector?
Somebody who I'm not even sure who you, fire department maybe, I don't know. We have, no, fire department doesn't do that, okay. I don't know who to send.
I don't know, you get to do it unless it's a home inspector.
Well, I mean, I just think first that they
And
work.
they can accept the liability, because you can test it one day and the next day it don't work, so.
I understand what you're
We're not taking that
saying.
responsibility.
Okay, all right, thank you. Well, then I guess you guys will have to look into how you're gonna get that inspection done, okay? Because it is important.
Absolutely, we understand that.
Yeah, it is important, so, congratulations on that point. You have gotten your STR, conditional upon this, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, Joan, yes?
You had 4 ayes and what?
1 abstention. Rich Young, yes. So now, where was the document here? I don't know if it goes right on the applications, the approval, correct? Conditional, okay. I don't know if anybody else has a copy, but I've got 1 copy here. This is the owner. Where is our signature page? Here we go. Oh, only 1? Okay, and it says attesting town council member, so we need only 2 signatures here. All right. Wait, I'm gonna write conditionally, okay? Yep. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll use the black one here. Okay. This is going to be 5/14/2024. Permit has been approved. All right, conditionally, I should have written that there. Date of meeting, okay, May 14th. All right, I need an additional council member to sign this, please. Okay.
Do we need all to sign it?
No, only 1 person.
Probably when you get that BZA issue addressed before you renew next year.
Yeah,
Understood.
okay. We only need 2. That's what it was on this, okay? Now, this is the original, and we will have to make some copies of this. Joan?
Can I do the same thing and take?
Yes, you may, yes, of course, but, okay. Joan will make, I can make a copy and give to Joan. Here we go. There it is. You want 2 copies of that, Joan? Be signed, or is one enough signed and then copied?
One's enough.
Okay, because I want to make copies and then, hand that over to you. And I'll hand over those other signed documents. The ones that have the BZA signatures, because those come to you for your files too, right? Okay, I'll bring those all over tomorrow morning too. Making copies at home, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Make a note of that on here that you
Yes.
have them.
Yeah, I have all the original copies, okay. Okay, then let us move on to the next thing, departmental reports. Police chief, please, Mark Twistek.
Good evening, everyone. For the month of April, the Long Beach Police Department responded to 424 calls for service, when compared to 271 calls for service in the previous year, for an increase of 153 calls. A lot of that I attribute to our 2 newest deputies that we recently hired. When I go through a monthly calls for service, a lot of the traffic activity, traffic stops have really increased. Matter of fact, on my way to this meeting tonight, they had a car stopped right out front here of the town hall. So,
Okay, good.
You said, I thought you were going to say he's not.
During the month of April, 15 incident reports were documented for a total of 6 individuals were arrested, 2 misdemeanor arrests related to operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, 2 misdemeanor arrests for driving on a suspended driver's license, 1 misdemeanor arrest for resisting law enforcement, and 1 felony arrest related to an OWI with a prior conviction. Specific to the town of Michiana shores, back on April 5th, Deputy Matthew Lopez stopped a white Ford F-250 truck that was traveling on Old Grand Beach Road near El Portal with no taillights. During the traffic encounter, the 25-year-old male from Rolling Prairie was found to be operating the vehicle on a suspended driver's license. He was cited and issued a traffic court date. In the last week, with some of the weather beginning to improve, we started to see a lot of beach activity. From stop 13 all the way down to stop 37 here, and a lot of underage drinking already. And we've begun to see this past Saturday, between stop 34 and 36, we had a large group of kids took off running on us, left behind some beer, clothing, all the belongings and that. So I can't say enough to the parents. Please keep an eye on your children or your children, your young adults. A lot of them were 16, 17 years old, we assume, that took off running from us. June 5th will be the open house for the public safety building. We've received an email on that. Everyone's invited from 5 to 7 p.m. That's directly behind the Long Beach Town Hall. May 25th, which is a Saturday, H&S Landscaping and Healy Landscaping has generously offered to put on a fundraising event for the Long Beach Police Department's Marine Unit. We're raising funds to do some upgrades to our current boat, which is a 1997 Boston Whaler, and then also any additional funds. We're going to start a campaign to replace that boat in the near future. The goal is within the next 3 years to replace that vessel and get us a new marine unit. And then everyone received an email earlier today. The radar sign is on its way. The prosecutor is paying that invoice. It was submitted to their office. Again, thank you to Prosecutor Sean Fagan for making that donation to the town. I know there was some discussion earlier between Ralph, Sam, and myself about our locations. The nice thing is, and we're in no hurry, the local commissioner is aware that the sign's on the way. The nice thing is we can move this sign. We can put it on El Portal for a period of time, and if you guys decide you want to move it a year from now or whatever, it is solar powered. So we just have to put it in a location that doesn't have a lot of tree shade so that we can get some direct sunlight on the solar panel. I know Kincaid Park was discussed. Our opinion was we put it on your busiest roadway, that being El Portal to start, but we are totally open. Whatever this board decides, please shoot me an email or give me a phone call, and then we'll work with the local commissioner to get that installed for you. And then it also has traffic data on it as far as we can download, the speeds, times, number of vehicles coming through.
Awesome.
We'll capture all that for you, we'll download it, and then we'll send you a report every Sunday.
Great, thank you.
How easy is it to move around? Dig it up and move it? Or
Your road commissioner is a mule, so he can work pretty hard, so I would say that just more or less, honestly, it's probably, and I'll have to look, because I know our street department's getting ready to put ours out probably next week. I think once the pole is in, you leave the pole there, and then maybe you work on some type of fitting on the top where you can just take it down off of some sort of clamp or something like that, and then just simply move it to a new location, but leave the pole in the ground there, and then we can always bring it back to that same location in there.
All right, cool.
But we'll see how our installation goes here in the next week or two, and then Chief Sokowski will come by, take a look at it, and then get an idea.
I had you have questions? Go ahead.
Thank you, of course, for your guidance on that and letting us know that that was a possibility for us to petition. And I do want to acknowledge that Ralph's idea about having concerns about the park and such. One thing that with kids and activity, a lot of pickleball players and everything like that, is there anything different that we could do with the radars other than the radar sign with regard to traffic warnings, like slow children at play type signage that might help, or?
Yeah, since we can't do the stop signs because of speeders.
Right.
But,
Caution, park and all that sign, you're already there.
yeah,
So yeah, I think the first one, are there any markings, pedestrian crosswalk?
No.
markings on the ground there?
no, there aren't.
You could do something like that
Oh, there
too.
we go, that sounds good. All right.
Okay, we'll do
Something
that.
to talk about.
That's a good
All right,
idea.
that's definitely, I think that would be good. I have a couple of questions, Chief, before you sit down. The location of this event is going to be at H&S Services? As of, all right, okay, just wanted to make sure. Second question, you will have already installed the flock cameras, right?
We do not have any in town of Long Beach as of yet.
Okay, but you're talking about doing them, right?
Yes, I'm looking at our 4 entry points, possibly putting them there. I would suggest that, and I was gonna bring it up probably later this year to this board to look at them, they're about $3,500 a year per camera. So, if you put, first year, maybe we put 2 in, you're gonna have to budget about $7,000 annually to support the cameras and the maintenance of them and everything. They're probably gonna go up after this year, but right now they're roughly $3,500 a camera.
Okay.
You can enter into a contract, I believe right now, from a year to 5 years, I believe they're offering. Maybe we get a little bit of a discount. Michigan City, LaPorte County, I mean, they're all around us, every county surrounding us has them.
Yes.
Grand Beach, just recently put some in as well. There's some at Carwick and US 12, Carwick and Springland. We've actually used them and actually closed out a few cases in Long Beach. We had some car entries where they were breaking into cars and stealing items like cars. And FLOT was very beneficial because a passerby gave us just, not the full plate, but a partial plate. We put it into the FLOT system, caught the car coming over the Washington Park Bridge. Our staff set up a Lakeshore Drive, and sure enough, the next night we caught the car coming into the town of Long Beach.
Oh.
We caught 3 kids in the car, had rubber gloves on, and all the signs of breaking into cars.
Wow,
So
okay.
they are very beneficial.
Okay, well then, if you have any other information that you could share, send an email to us so that we can, look into this. I think we should add that to a discussion to see if we could do something with that maybe.
I think now, you guys are going to be going into July, August, preparing your 2025 budget.
Yeah.
It may be something that if you have in your budget to just consider $3,500 a camera. You want to start with 2, try and plug in at $7,000. And again, you have the lit funds that you're using to pay your contracts and that, but still, you may have some surplus in the lit fund.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay.
You could use for that as well.
All right, okay.
That's what a lot of communities do.
Awesome, okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the report, Chief. Okay, Fire Chief.
Good evening, everybody. The month of April, we spent 181.5 hours on everything. We had 4 meetings during the month. We just had 2 calls in the town here. So we had 3 calls. One was in Porter County for the use of the tanker. The other one was Schultz Road, and I think Vale Road. We got called in because all the departments are first during the day. And then also on that day that we got on Schultz Road, Long Beach was called in to stand by for us, and we had a medical call in town that covered for us while we were out on that structure fire. So during the day, these sessions it's tough. There's not a lot of people around. So we had a great breakfast last Sunday. Thank you all for coming. It was very good success. And also, I'd like to recognize Nick Wolf who just successfully passed his EMT class. So he is leading the way. This is probably 4 or 5 months of torture for him. But it was very good. Also, I would like to ask the town for consideration if they have some AARP money left over possibly. We're looking to purchase a Lucas machine, which is an automatic CPR machine. Basically you put it underneath their back, and you put this on there, it does the CPR for you. Because I don't know if anybody's ever done it, but you wear out real quick. And we lost a member of the community Saturday. I think we got him back for half a day, and then I think he passed away on Sunday, if I can remember. And his wife was a town council member, Vandenball, he owned a gas plant.
Yeah,
So he passed away Sunday, from what I read in the obituary today. So.
Okay.
But anyway, that machine is roughly $20,000. And so the department, we've got to have to bring it up at our meeting and stuff, so if there's any possible way, just consider it, we
all
appreciate
right,
it.
thank you. Okay, glad you brought it up to us.
Okay, and that's all.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? To the chief? No? Okay, thank you very much. Okay. All right, we move on to, where's my thing here? All right, building commissioner. Okay, I have been acting on behalf of our former building commissioner, but I did not put together a report, so I don't have all the data, every single one. But there have been a number of, applications completed and signed, and, and work was commenced. I don't know, Brenda, you think about 8 or 9? I think, at least over this past month. And then, of course, at the Plan Commission, we approved the plans to build a new home in town for the Schollers. So that would be part of those. So I don't have much of anything on that. As with regards to code enforcement, there's a number of short-term rentals that came up for renewal, and they have all, so far, everybody has provided all the information, that they needed to do to renew. So those that did actually come to renew have completed everything they were supposed to do. So those will begin giving their, hard cards to use now. And that's it for this. And then I'll put together a whole report for the time that I was working on it. And I will submit that to you all later, okay?
And you said applications, those are applications for building permits?
The application for building permit was awarded.
Application for the position?
No, not that, that goes on somewhere else. No, that is for the building permit. Okay, then,
What's the status on the house next to Dolly, open the court?
right now, we received a very convoluted application that's listed like everything potentially possibly under the sun. But, this was gonna be worked on now, and then it may be doing this, but I don't know that. We may be doing this, I don't know that. So I did correspond with the petitioner, and I said that I am going to be making out for the information that I have. I'm still waiting for the contractor to give me part of that info. So what I have, I will include on that application and make sure that the permit is only issued for those jobs. And all the other jobs that were in there, that are potential ones that are coming up, will have to come on another permit. Just because, I don't think that we should give a blanket permit, for an
So is it still?
Hopefully the permit that this limited permit that will be done, I'm going to submit tomorrow to the office. And then if they get the check on time, then we will hope that Brenda will be able to process it on Friday. So, and that's just for, this is for making repairs and stuff like this on a home. But it was actually like a story that would go like this. So, but we came, hopefully, that will solve our problem now. Okay, Park Board, Gene Paxton. Can you give us our report?
Dinah, can you read my email, please?
Okay.
If possible.
Okay, hold on, I've got to pull out my phone. The one thing I didn't print, see? After I printed everything else, okay. Hold on, Gene, I'm gonna pull it up now.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem, okay. Did you send it on the 007 email? Or the other one? SJ
Let
Pax?
me get it.
SJ
Let me
Pax?
get it.
Okay, here we go. Oops, okay, go on. It is not, wait a minute, I'm looking for this agenda. Oh, here we go. I think that, here we go. Last month at our meeting, we had, this is, I'm reading Jean's report, okay? Last month at our meeting, we had guest speaker Kim Laffo, who had experience with Conservancy in Dunedin Beach. Kim was very informative and gave us some good ideas. Samantha Arnold sent out a park survey to all residents in order to gain information about the residents' use and desires for their parks. We will use this data to build our 5-year plan and budgets for the coming years. We have been given confirmation that the regrading of the nature trail and setting down of washed gravel will be completed by June 1st. The tree work in Leeds Park has been completed and a redbud tree was donated and planted there. Thank you to Chris Wolf in helping to plant. Thank you to Rich Young for park maintenance work this past month. The community gardeners through the Booster Club have been very busy too. Okay? Anything else to add, Jean?
No,
Okay.
that's it. Yeah, and congratulations to Mick for passing his EMT.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, okay, so if there's nothing, anybody have questions for Jean?
I have a statement.
Okay.
After the town cleanup, which was well attended, I believe, did a good job. But there's still 4 or 5 bags of garbage.
Yes. Okay, I'm glad you brought that
At
up.
the edge of the road.
Yes.
By the parking lot across from the tennis.
Yes, now, I'm glad you brought that up because I was made aware of that, I think yesterday, right? Yesterday you wrote me or today, what was it, maybe, I thought you sent me an email from Beth, or maybe somebody else did. Oh, Beth Joby sent it to me. Okay, and said that she had received a photo that said the bags are still there. Last week I spent, I don't know how much time, in 2 phone calls with Republic Services. They actually happen to be headquartered in Phoenix, Arizona. So anyway, but I was on the phone well over an hour 20 minutes, something like this, trying to get this. And they told me, yes, they will pick them up. And I explained and I showed, and he actually pulled up a map to see where the park is and where the bags were. So I understand they picked everything up by the firehouse that was left over in a container, but they didn't pick those up. So tomorrow I will call them again, to find out, what to do. The part of the problem may have been that there is no actual address for the park. The park does not have an account.
Who is the person or the people that came in and talked to us? They're local, right? I mean,
they were from Chesterton, Indiana. Yes, that is my call, because today Ray and I had to do some other stuff in the morning. I will call them tomorrow to reach them.
Well, look, there's like 6 or 7 bags. I filled up my bin the last 2 weeks with things we got from the pickup. I'll drive over there tomorrow and get as many as will fit.
We can bring it to our house too.
It's not at all.
I can pick up some too.
The last 2 weeks mine's been completely full of those bags.
Well, you know what we can do as well is, though, I agree with Sam that we should bring it to their attention, because I did spend a lot of...
People should know that we're asking for a little bit of extra effort.
Yes, I agree.
We spend a lot of money with this company.
We do, you're right.
People that were awarded the business should know that we've got an issue.
Yes, but, and we should let them know. When I spoke with these, and I've got the names and their numbers and extensions to reach them out there in Arizona, guaranteed that they would be picked up. So that would be something I will bring up to these.
Who are the people that came into the meeting?
I don't know their names, they are on the contract,
I'll find those people.
Yes,
I'll call
okay.
them because
All right.
they need to know that.
I agree, that's a good idea.
A little bit better
Okay.
service.
Years ago, there was a guy that, I think it's Valpo, not Chesterton, or it's Round Point.
Well, their Republic Services office locally is Chesterton.
But I agree with Beth. I mean, Gary had a problem with Republic not picking up all the cans at the firehouse.
And they need to know that too,
So we, as volunteers emptied or filled up their bags, they put them in the corner here. They wouldn't come to there, so I moved all the bags over to where the normal pickup was, and they took it. So
Oh, they took them on Wednesday because I asked them to come back, so they came back Wednesday to pick them up, right?
Here.
Chief, yes, they came back, and they told me on that day, when I contacted them on Monday and Tuesday with the phone calls, they said the pickup will take place on Wednesday. So they did come back on Wednesday and pick those up, so, which was good. But the other ones, and I don't know, a huge issue that was, with this, because I'm saying that all the customer service goes directly back over to there. But when they assured me that it will all be taken care of, okay, and then obviously it wasn't. So they didn't pick up Wednesday or Monday, yesterday. So thank you, Sam, if you want to, if you, from those documents, find the name, it would be great to let them know. Our can is very hospitable as well, so we can bring a sack over to us. Should I send Ray out there, or will you drop one off at my house?
You don't need to discuss
We
it
have,
here.
okay. Great, thank you very much. Okay, Road Commissioner, oops, I'm sorry?
Diana, can I ask one question?
Yes,
Is Brad Adamski in the meeting?
yes.
Brad, did you get my email?
Yeah, I got your email this morning.
Okay, thank you.
So
That's all I wanted to know.
I'll reply to it. I do have some experience with that, working with the assessor's office, not necessarily with towns, but I have probably some contact information I can get from the county assessor's office that'll guide in that process.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. And, okay, so let's, Road Commissioner Bob Sokowski, please. Bless you.
I had 2 complaints. One complaint is at 5 Angle. The road is kind of like in a hollow,
Uh-huh,
and the guy wants to replace his driveway, but the road keeps filling with water in front of his driveway. I filled a big hole there last year. There's another big hole now, and it's full of water.
okay, so it is a pothole, you're saying?
Yes, but the reason the pothole is there is because water runs down the hill and forms in that low spot. So when we redo our road paving this year, that area there needs to be addressed.
Okay, so it's in front of 5 Angle?
Huh?
In front of 5 Angle?
5 Angle. What
Okay.
we do is pave the road to where it goes off into the woods rather than in front of this man's driveway.
Okay. See, one of the things that I had learned from the engineering firm when I spoke to them about water collecting in spots, they said that in order to do that, they would be rebuilding the road to do that, whereas the grants that we get pave the roads, repave. So they said there's 2 different processes on this. So I don't know that it's going to be as easy as our grant, but, we should find out. Okay.
Well, even if it's not, we're gonna need to put a catch basin in there.
Uh-huh.
Which is gonna be pretty expensive. I'm gonna patch the hole again, but it's just gonna keep
Yeah, right.
going away.
Okay, all right, well, that's something for us to,
When I had was a pothole on the floor, blocked the portal. Rolled in the doors for the village hall in Michiana, Michigan, hit it, this upper tire.
Got the bill.
Go for,
I have the bill.
okay, but I'm gonna have Brad, you wanna say anything about that now or not?
Sure, so
Okay.
generally speaking, the town or municipality wouldn't be responsible unless there's notice of the pothole. Like obviously, if the town is aware of the pothole and didn't do anything about it, the liability could potentially shift to the town. I don't believe this pothole was addressed in front of the town before. I don't think it was noticed. I think the bill is $140. It was,
$148.
$148. So absent, acknowledgement or notice to the town, I think you have an obligation to pay this.
Okay, all right, thank you.
now the pothole's been filled since then, and I got 60 or 600 more pounds filled today.
Okay, all right, okay, thank you. Thanks for bringing this to our attention. Okay,
Oh, garage roof.
oh, yes, okay,
After the hailstorm the other day, I met with Gary, and he had somebody come look at the roof of the firehouse and it was damaged. And the same contractor looked at our roof across the street, it's damaged also. So we're in the process of turning in an insurance claim for that, and seeing if they are kind enough to do it like they did for the fire department, which is the same company, so I don't see what.
okay, thank you.
I think the total was $16,000 some odd dollar.
Is that, you got that back from the insurance company already?
No.
Oh,
You have to go on there and do
oh, true, okay. All right.
It's just for the garage.
Yeah, I forgot to mention, we're getting this roof replaced for $1,000. It's already deductible.
Oh,
Because
okay.
we originally had wind damage,
Uh-huh.
and then a adjuster, independent adjuster was coming on Wednesday. We had the hailstorm Tuesday night, destroyed the roof. And so they closed the wind claim out, just said the hail damage so into the roof on the whole station.
Wow, okay. All right.
You'll probably get a deductible and you're gonna get that
Yeah,
fixed too.
okay. All right, cool. Thank you very much for letting us know, okay? All right, thank you. White Ditch is, oh no, this one, Advisory Plan Commission, Isaac?
Yes, so like you mentioned before we approved the House bill, Russell was talking about a tree ordinance that we're kind of developing as we go through, so we'll go through.
Okay,
Report.
all right, thank you. And then, BZA, we don't have anything brought in. I mean, we know that this passed earlier, but there was nothing new from the BZA now. White Ditch Drainage Board, Michiana Shores, thankfully, was not on the agenda. You know, this month, hey, we have been with issues, but everything was good. Had a lot of other issues there today, but not Michiana, so we were lucky for White Ditch. Samantha, for the website and technology?
There is nothing new to report really about the website or technology, except that the garlic mustard post is now #1.
Wow, okay.
It's that time of year, it's gone from like the third, anyway, that's the most
Interesting.
favorite page on our website right now.
Okay, interesting. All right. And I have nothing new to report from NERC. Okay? Meeting will take place, I'm not even sure, June? Even later on, I can't remember right now, but there's not going to be a meeting now for a little while, so. Okay, nothing new from there. Unfinished business, renewal of leaf removal contract, new bids by end of spring. Samantha, anything on that?
I've got all the paperwork this week, last week? From previous years, so now I can go and compare and set up the bids for this year.
Awesome, okay.
Next year.
Yeah, okay, great, thank you very much. Tree and tree debris removal and additional bids for that we were waiting. Who's working on that one? Okay.
Yes. So, as of the last meeting, we had, I think it was March meeting actually, that we reviewed the original bids. There was an additional event that prompted us to tree falling, cutting in half and falling on the road. It was removed to 2 different lots, so we added that as an additional element to be bid on. We rebid it with 2 vendors, Mick Wolf's, Sandcastle, and also Maple City. And the bids are, again, $100 difference. Maple City is the low bid at $3,500, and Sandcastle is at $3,600. One of the big, one of the components we want to recognize that, try to give business to those that are living in the neighborhood where it's competitive and where we can justify it. We also want to make sure that the timeliness of the work to be completed, and I added a date job to be completed by, which I don't have from Mick that I see. So that would be one thing we'd want to know from both vendors is, and I know Mother Nature has something to say. If it's raining for 2 weeks straight, you're not going to be able to get much done. But we don't want to, it's taken us almost a year to get this project to this point. And we want to move quickly once we have it, so.
Okay, so to be clear, are you saying that you need to, you're asking when the, either one of the contractors could do this, or are we setting a date by which you want this done?
Well, I want to be reasonable with the vendors, not understanding their workflow, like when Maple City did leads, he called me and said, hey, I'm out here with my crew, can I just do the work, is it a go? And I said, no, it's not a go, so, but that was 2 months ago.
Okay.
So, or a month ago. So I don't know, his work could be increasing and mix could be the same way, so.
Okay, so what is your suggestion?
I understand what they're saying, that they can commit to no later than.
Okay.
Are you saying that we need to have that before we vote on a vendor, or that we pick a vendor and then set a date?
We want to know when they can produce the work.
So that is you want to make that a determining factor of who we choose?
Pardon? I want them to tell us when they can do it. I don't know. More clearly.
All right. Do we have, so we have one of the vendors here, one of the contractors, and we can potentially get some information about work completion?
The brush on the side of the coffee house can be done very quickly, because that's probably the major eyesore in town. The other ones could be, it's not going to be done before Labor Day, but we could get definitely the bigger pile out or before the Memorial Day weekend. Clean up that area. But the others can probably happen sometime in June. You know, this project, a lot of other similar projects, it's taking 10 months. We cut all winter to do this stuff. You could have come in and got a better price if we had a little bit more.
All right, well, maybe we can't go back.
Just saying.
I got it.
It's like brought this up in August. And now you're making the contractors feel bad because they're up against the wall when we have 10 months to do this project.
All right.
So you've got to get a little leeway. You can't be pushing.
We didn't.
I don't think you have the respect to be pushing it.
Okay, Sam actually said, asking the vendors when they think that they could get it done. So that would be a good date to ask. Okay, so what we're doing is asking. Now, you stated that you could probably do the small brush, right? But not the big trees, correct?
Not big trees until after probably June sometime.
Okay, so in other words, but you could clean up the brush, the smaller stuff, that could be done by Memorial Day, is what you said, okay? So is that an appropriate or an acceptable, a date? And then how do we find out from the other vendor? If that's what we're doing is checking out. We don't have any dates from them, do we?
No.
Okay. All right, so I don't know what
I'll reach out.
Okay, so then we are not making any determination today. Okay, and that is what you're saying?
So Sam, I would say, I think someone has taken the big stuff at the corner of Shadow and Powhatan. It looks like the big tree trunk has been cut up and taken out. The brush is still there.
I walked by today.
Okay, so it would be completely different to me. So anyway.
The trees have grown up around a lot. No, serious.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right, so then you're suggesting...
This mess has been around for a long time. And not the one that fell at Clought's house. If you put it off another month, it just doesn't make sense. I mean...
Well, why does it have to take a month to find out where the contract? We don't have to wait.
For us, but see, we have to vote at a public meeting, okay, to make that decision. So now we could hold, we can announce a public meeting.
Okay.
We just need 48-hour notice, which does not include weekends, but we can make a 48-hour notice, hold a meeting, and make a final decision once you get the dates.
Right.
If you need, but I would say let's do that sooner than later so we get it done. Or make it,
I agree.
Okay? Okay, but do you think we'd probably make a phone call to the other vendor to find out, right? To get something? Okay, awesome. So, let's make a motion that we table this until we hold a special meeting, a special public meeting, an additional public meeting to make a determination on choosing the vendor for the tree removal. Right? No?
I'm okay with voting on it tonight. That's what
Okay.
I'm trying to say.
Oh, all right, even without knowing the dates? Okay. All right, okay, any other comments, or saying about that?
Well, the end of June is, what, 6 weeks?
End of May,
Oh, wait.
end of May, yeah,
6 weeks.
yeah, end of June is 6 weeks.
Except June.
Well, he said no, May, before May, he could do the brush, and then the rest of the stuff in June.
So
Okay,
I still think we should give the contract to this local guy. Maple
Okay.
said he's getting a lot of business as it is.
okay,
Mixing town, he's just been given applause for an accomplishment.
yep. Okay, well, I'll give his, what do you think, Samantha?
I think we should vote tonight.
Okay. All right, I think that we can vote on the actual vendor and then, just reach out and get an idea of, when, I guess in that case, it would only be one vendor that we gotta reach out to, this or the Maple Street, so.
Let's just vote on,
Yeah.
on the vendor tonight, we're to get it
Okay.
done with.
All right, okay. So, I need, someone to make
I'll make a
what you
motion
want to
to
do.
award the contract to Sandcastle.
I said,
Okay, so we have a motion to award the job to Sandcastle or / McWolf, and we have a second for that. All in favor indicate, unless anybody has, well, at this point, we'd have to vote and then, and do something else. So do we have, all in favor indicate by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye, okay. So is that all aye? Did I hear from everybody? Yes, okay, very good. So, Mick? All right, okay, very good, okay, awarded, here we go. Okay, thank you very much. All right, good, so let's move on to the next, which is the purchase of maintenance equipment for town, and we leave that with Sam again. So I thought we had approved all of this before, we've got it all set up with Sourcewell.
This is all approved, we don't need to even talk about this.
Oh, we're done? Oh,
Yes, Joe's got all the information.
excellent, okay,
Bob and I are meeting with the vendor in Valparaiso, they're coming here tomorrow, and they're gonna talk us through the process
okay,
with
Awesome.
Sourcewell, and also
Great.
talk about the trade-in value of the mower, I assume, Todd.
okay, great,
And hopefully by the end of the meeting, we'll have a clear idea,
awesome, okay.
get a purchase order and all that.
All right, well, thank you to you and to Bob for, that was a long haul, getting it together. So thank you very much for, your time and and getting it done. Okay, so, all right, great. Under new business, first I'm going to switch those around. I should have done that before. First of all, I'm going to announce that we have, hopefully everybody agrees, an appointment of a new advisory plan commission secretary, and that is Kara Scholler. Kara Scholler is here with us today, so give her a wave, and stuff. And she has volunteered to take that position over, and I'm really glad she has, okay? So we don't get very many people who want to, do volunteer work and stuff like this, and and to help us. I'm really happy. She and I had a very good conversation about all the things that are involved, the notes, the agendas, keeping records and so forth. So I think that she'll do a great job. So thank you very much for taking on this position for us. So, and then now let's move on to the search. We no longer need building commissioner. Oh yeah, we have building commissioner. First of all, before I start doing just the building commissioner, I just wanted to say as well that at this point we're going to split the two positions and basically have a building commissioner, okay? And then we would have a code enforcement, and we could still retain the title we had before that said Assistant Building Commissioner, in case they should need to handle some kind of issue if our building commissioner could not do something. So that would be my suggestion. We have a building commissioner and then a code enforcement officer / assistant building commissioner. They would technically really not do anything for the building commissioner unless potentially something maybe happened to the building commissioner. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that, council, on doing this kind of a split.
That's the way I expected it.
Okay. I do have to say that we do have a very good candidate for the building commissioner, and he says he does not want to have anything to do with code enforcement. So that would mean we would give him the building commissioner, position, and then leave the code enforcement to whoever else we would find on that. So anybody else would like to start with giving us a little spiel on, some of the interview we had for the building commissioner?
If he's not gonna be doing code enforcement, then we're going to have a new job description, because that's according to our town code.
Yeah.
Enforcement is.
Yes, I know it does have enforcement in it, but that maybe.
Well, I think the town has an existing
Yeah.
job description for building commissioner. We just haven't used it because we've had the combined position in the last few
Yeah.
years. So there's an existing,
Yeah, and it's actually pretty good.
Be changed then.
It actually is pretty good and may not need, we'll take a look at it and see what needs to, if something would need to be. But it's really not very much broader than, enforcing basically the building kind of thing. So, but that would be something that we need to do in order to be able to get this individual on. Now, would somebody like to present some information on this? Instead of me just talking all the time, somebody else take,
I don't
think there's nothing.
We met and interviewed a candidate. I think I'm prepared to put forth his name.
Okay.
And we should vote. I'm going to propose that we vote to make a proposal to him, a job offer, and go from there.
Okay.
As opposed to, we can't put him in a position if he hasn't accepted a job offer yet, so.
Okay, absolutely. So, but we could present his name perhaps, no?
But I don't have his name here. I know it's.
Only if we're making a motion to vote on hiring the person for a building commissioner, correct?
Right.
I guess, but that's what I think Ralph was suggesting, yeah.
So I propose that we, I guess my motion would be that we present a job offer to Vince
Vertus.
For the position of building commissioner.
Okay, all right. I, would accept the second on this motion. Okay, Sam, are you knocking? Oh, all right. So we have Ralph Box has moved and Sam Paxson has seconded. I will just add some information. For those who don't know, Vince Vertus has been a longtime resident here in Michiana Shores, has owned several homes. I think he built several homes here, and he has been working for over 30 years, he told us, as a contractor. So it'll be nice to have someone again who is local and will be easy to reach and stuff like this, and was very excited actually about doing this because I received numerous calls from him, about his interest in actually getting on with this particular position. So Ralph Fox moves, Sam Paxson seconded that we prepare a proposal of employment as a building commissioner to Vince Vertus and send that off to him. Presented, correct? All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. So 5 ayes, and we will extend this job offer to him. Yes.
I would also add that he's semi-retired.
Yes.
So because before we had trouble, we had that.
Yes.
Can't remember.
Steve Thomas.
Steve. And he was a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he was never around.
Well, yeah, I know, I made it hard, so.
Vince is around like 6 days out of 7.
Yeah.
If not 7.
Yeah, no. He said that he would be available, every single day, pretty much half of the day. So that's very nice for us. So anyway, so that is, okay, we will take care of that, putting that together. And we will now have to entertain an advertisement on our town, on the website. I think we could post it on our notice boards about looking for a code enforcement officer. So now my only question would be is how much of a description are we getting? It should probably be a little bit, is a little bit informative, so people would know what to look at. And I know we do have information on documents that we've had. Yeah.
Job description.
We have a job description.
Yes, we have a job description, I think, but I mean, that would be an awful lot to put on for somebody to read on the website.
No, we,
No,
that's our
okay,
job
well, then that's good. Okay,
Just link to it.
okay, that's true,
I
okay.
would put the first page in the message boards
Okay, sounds good.
there, and then
All right.
the whole document goes on the website.
so if you
Yeah,
have a
excellent.
final agreed upon.
Are we
send it.
gonna stay with the assistant building?
Well, the suggestion for maintaining an assistant building commissioner is if something should have to change, then we don't have to go through an ordinance to change the whole thing. Okay? All right, so that would be the best thing about leaving it the way
So
it is.
assistant-
Yeah, so we would
So
have a
it's-
building commissioner, and then the second individual is a code enforcement officer / assistant building commissioner, and that's exactly what's listed now. That's the way that title, that's the title that held.
That job description is fine.
Yes, yeah,
Posted
okay,
without.
all right, okay. Okay, so then we will post that on those, that way. I don't know, are we gonna try to put that on any other way, we're gonna put that on?
We can start there.
You want, okay, all right, so then we start over there with the website, all right, and the notice boards. Okay, great, thank you very much. All right, so now, attorney report, Mr. Adamski.
We're gonna talk procedurally about stuff that can get to the public meeting, so obviously without getting into too much strategy or fact-finding cases, more of a one-day thing. So on Eureka, the next hearing is scheduled for next Wednesday, May 22nd at 10:30. The intent there, is we've been monitoring the property, we've been doing some work, but we need to be able to report to the court what our position is on whether they've accomplished what we need them to do or not. And if not, then we'll need to likely either come to an agreement to access the property or ask the court for access to the property. I think we need, that's based on discussions. Okay, to tailing right into that with Cummins, that litigation is pending. They do have counsel involved now. It's kind of split the issues into two things. One, they're presenting documentation that they're establishing the property as a primary residence. If you recall, this is on a short-term rental without permit. Even if it is a primary residence, they still need a permit. So obviously it's got to go through that process. I can forward that correspondence from counsel to the members so you can see the document.
Okay.
That hearing, initial hearing is scheduled for June 7th. That's going to be continued because opposing counsel has a conflict for medical purposes. So it's going to be continued regardless. We can still use that to our advantage with Eureka, because now I know the court's going to have an open date for our hearing.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to connect those two together, and then in the meantime, we'll do some simple discovery with Cummins for rental records receipts. On rebelling, Sammy asked me for an update on that. Obviously, that's not my case. So just looking at the docket, the hearing was on April 3rd. At the close of that hearing, the judge asked both parties to submit findings of fact, proposed findings of fact, and conclusions of law within 60 days. So those would be due on or around June 2nd or 3rd. That would be the next thing that would happen there. So then that's proceeding, but that's what the status is. I'll address the delinquent list real quick that Jones asked out. As an attorney, I can tell you as those come to me, there's a cost benefit to you guys for pursuing some of this at the attorney level. You've got some that are, $700, $400, maybe those would be things that at some point in the future you might want to pursue on a small claims docket. And I would say cost-wise it would be beneficial to you to have at least maybe 5 or 6 of those together. And do it in the picture, doesn't make sense. And certainly most of these at the 148, 150 level, sending letters from the town clerk. At this point, the final demand letters, as they're sending out, that's probably the most efficient way to deal with them rather than spending $115 on a filing fee with the court and $200 plus in attorney fees. It doesn't make sense. But that's something that now you got the information, you can start strategizing going forward.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
At some point, one last thing. I don't know if this is a thing we want to regularly do or maybe talk about even before the June meeting, but as far as having an executive session, I'm looking at Cummins more than, say, the other ones right now. At some point, we do want to talk or I want to talk with the council members to engage, especially the nature of the letter is kind of seldom. So I want to be able to talk about that with you guys, so we can give a unified response back rather than me just saying, oh, I've got to go to the town. So.
Well, if you get that to us, information sooner than later.
I can email it tomorrow.
We can,
Yeah.
Okay, and then we can include it in the next executive session.
okay, yeah, okay. Great, okay. I do have a question that relates to Eureka. At the time, if I am correct, we were going to be going over to the property to check and see, what else still needs to be done. So we were going to give them, my understanding is that we would give them something that shows what else we still need to have done. So do we need to worry about that because of the fact that they did not even want us to step on their property? Where's that?
Bigger concern I'm going to have with going to court is that we weren't allowed on the property.
Okay.
They didn't allow board members on the property, so how can you give
An accurate,
complete
yeah.
accurate list without doing this on the property?
All right, thank you. Okay. Any questions from council?
Did you get a copy of what Joe produced as far as the outstanding citations?
Yeah.
You see that Cummins, is that?
Yeah, that's less than what Devin provided.
I was hoping.
That confirms with what Joel said.
I was hoping that was the case.
Now, 3 and 4, I know those are the same, but I don't have anything on that. So I don't know if that's something that needs to be pursued.
Okay. All right. Okay, so no other questions then for Brad? Okay, thank you very much, Brad. Miscellaneous business, anybody have anything to bring up? No? Okay, communications received, anything in particular? Okay, I will just say that I received a communication from someone asking about water running down and pooling on streets. Okay, that's, one kind of a question I received. And then I think basically it was just, finding information in town. So, on the website, getting onto the website and so forth, but I think we've handled that. Public comment. Anybody, please identify yourself to us.
Sure. Brad Minnick with House Associates.
My God, yeah. Okay, see, we didn't talk before.
Say what you mean?
Brad Minnick with, with House Associates.
Yes.
Brad Minnick.
Okay.
M-I-N-N-I-C-K.
Okay, now I'm going to interject for just a moment, okay? Brad is here as an engineer, right? Okay, and this has to do with the community crossings grant. See, I knew I forgot something for our agenda. So his firm also works on this. I sent information to him that we had on hand with regards to the PASER, the PAMP report, correct, right? And we have used another vendor in the past, but Brad is going to tell us a little bit about his company because what we should do is apply for the community crossings grant that is going to be determined at the end of the summer. It opens up July 1st, and we have to have everything submitted by the end of July in order to participate. So, all right, take it away, Brad. Okay?
Sure, thank you. Again, I'm with House Associates in Michigan City. Personally, I live in LaPorte. We handle the CCMD applications for adjacent communities, Long Beach and Trophy, and others in Northwest Indiana. In recent years, basically, the program has been around, I think, since 2017. It's an opportunity for smaller communities to have a match within that, where the smaller communities, the towns, have a 25% stake, and NDOT offers 75%. So it's a 3-to-1 match in the town's favor, in effect. And the grant cycle, as you mentioned, opens up twice a year. The first cycle was January 1st to January 31st. And then the next and final cycle for this calendar year is July 1st through July 31st. And at that time, at the end of July, the applications close. There's deliberations by NDOT to decide who gets what funding. And then typically a few months later, they award funding. So if it's the town's intention to apply for this next grant cycle, from a practical perspective, the bid documents could be developed and bid this fall, but unless there were the conditions that had to be addressed this fall in terms of, you know, a recurring pothole or something like that, my recommendation would be to give the contractor until early next summer to not only book work for next year, which is advantageous to them, but also give them latitude if they have availability, they can do it in the fall. Usually they're booked up with network, and that's got a very aggressive program the last few years. So that would be my recommendation. Based on the information you sent me from John Doyle and Associates from a few years ago, if that's the most current you have,
What did you say, John?
That's not the most current.
What,
Didn't, Global do it?
they did, I think, the preparation work for this, but I think that all of our other documents were, I thought those were up to date. I will check out.
Yeah.
I will contact him tomorrow and find out, but the documents I had in my files were the ones I sent to you. So are those documents still
No.
timely for this or not?
No, those were from December 2021, so.
It was okay.
It was updated, yeah, and it said 22 to 26.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there's more recently available information, that's great, and that would open up the 2022 application for the 1st of July.
Okay, and now, I thought that the documents that I did present were dated 22 to 26, that they were,
That was the 5-year program.
Okay.
John Doyle.
all right?
But it was dated December.
December 21st, okay,
2021.
Okay.
It was a 5-year look ahead, I guess.
yeah, okay, all right,
Which is part of the process for NDOT.
Okay.
What your short-term program is.
Okay.
And I did want to clarify that drainage concerns can be addressed with CCMG funding.
okay,
We've done work in adjacent communities to that effect, right? To me, I was a paving contractor for about a dozen years in the upper Midwest, and if you can't get the water off the road, it's just flat out not gonna last. So,
Okay.
my thing has always been, you know, do it right the first time, get rid of the water, it would cost a little bit extra, but could it get long-term?
okay, well, that's good to know, okay, thank you.
So, that is what I want to say. I guess my other recommendation would be that, and House Associates have done this model with other communities where every other year, you do a program that way allows you to, more bang for your buck, right?
Okay.
Cheaper by the dozen and
Okay.
get contractors' attention a little bit better with a larger program every other year. And then also, looking through the stuff that you sent me earlier was, take care of what you have, right? The better rated roads, look at crack sealing and some preservation treatments, and then also balance that with mill overlays, which is a more extensive treatment as well.
Okay, so I have a question here then. If you say to sort of do it every other year, because we did apply for it in, I believe it was January of last year, because it was award, you know, we found out that it was awarded and we had the work done last fall. So it was awarded in the spring. I remember we have documents that we received from them in May. And then we, you know, were awarded a contractor. We went out for bids and stuff like that. And then, and the work was done last fall. So is your recommendation then to not submit now, but to wait until next year? You know, just to be clear, since you're saying every other year.
So that was last year. You have the opportunity to submit this year. I guess I'd like to look at basically the funds you have.
Okay.
And potentially, because of the schedule I just described, that you're most likely going to get the work done or the majority of it done next year anyway.
Okay.
We could apply for the 25-1 grant with a little bit bigger program.
Okay.
I looked today, you guys have about 8.6 miles, so it'd be nice to tackle as big a chunk as we could
Okay.
with that. We actually, House Associates, had a bid package for Michigan City that we bid in very early January this year, and based on my contractor experience, that's the kind of the sweet spot for bidding. You run the risk as contractors' plates fill up, their pencils get fatter, I guess, for
Okay.
in industry terms, the bids get less competitive. So I would say that that would give us a little bit more time.
Okay.
Put together a 25-1 package, and that would be due in January.
All right, and then here would be a question as well. It's like, are we going to have to then, we've got some of the documentation, like I said, the things that we had done in the past. Now, we'll check those files against, maybe, Ralph, you've got some electronic files from those from last year. I'll go over everything that I had because I thought I sent the most recent. But would we have to then redo the PAMP and then the PAMP and any of these others, the payment assets?
The PASER rating is good for 2 years.
Okay.
We done at least every 2 years per NDOT standard.
Okay.
And then that rolls into the PAMP, which is submitted to LTAP by December 1st. So it sounds like if you had all this done last year, then we would still be good for the January
21st application, okay.
What you have.
All right, I will look through, because I didn't even look in the LTAP, and those files. So I'll take a look at that and see what I can find with regards to that, and then we could check with Joan, on the files that are here in town. On that, okay? All right, so then, any other questions do we have to Brad? No? And then if you, so we have a recommendation that it would be perhaps better for us to wait until the January application, and then we can get, maybe more for whatever money we have. Now, and since, budgeting takes place and whatever, would that perhaps add us more money into our budget for next year on those?
It's very possible, but.
Not a guarantee, but.
No, it's no guarantee because we got less money at the end of last year than what we normally get. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, that may be a positive. And then, of course, if you could send on to us, what your estimated fees would be, we would be very happy to know that too.
Sure.
Okay.
I can bring those to the next meeting.
Okay, that's fine. Then, so what are your thoughts, with regards to what Brad has presented to us?
Well, I think we definitely would add you to the bid list, so to speak.
Yeah.
We just need to have an internal discussion about really the way to move forward.
Okay. All right, anybody else?
I agree.
Okay, all right. Well, then we're going to then, I don't know if we need to do this as a vote currently, that we'll put it off or nothing. I don't think we have to do that now. Yes, go ahead.
If I could just add one more thing, I'm not familiar with your budget constraints, right? But with the managed dollars out there within that, if you're going to go to an every other year cycle, you can adjust your budget accordingly, right? So if your budget was $50,000 annually, and you could put $40,000 that
towards the next year,
towards the match, then you could,
okay.
it would be advantageous as well.
Okay. All right, okay.
Generosity. So.
Yeah, okay, great, well, thank you very much, I'm so glad you were able to come in, and I'm sorry that I did not reach out, to see who you were, because I'm thinking, who is this gentleman sitting here? And I knew you were coming, so, okay, thank you very much. All right, so, any other comments from anybody else? No? Council comments, as we're wrapping up the meeting? No? Okay, good. In that case, motion to adjourn? All right, Ralph moves to adjourn. All right, thank you very much.